Hello and welcome to the third Guild Wars 2 Community Town Hall. This is where gamers, guilds, and fan sites, and the community at large for Guild Wars 2 come together and talk about the game, the community, and what's going on. So today is the June 2012 North American meeting, and we have ArenaNet listening in. Really want to hear the feedback that the community has for them so they can make the best game possible. Our agenda today is we'll be talking about the last beta weekend, all the usual stuff, PvP, World v World, combat mechanics, community, guild features, so a lot to cover. And with that, we'll get started. Our host is Beetle. This is brought to you by guild-world.com, your hub for all your community needs for Guild Wars 2. If you have a guild or fan site, make sure you add yourself to our database. And with that, we'll start the meeting.
Temperhoof, if you'd like to introduce your guild, please go ahead.
Alright, hey there, I'm one of the leaders of Rage Coalition. We are a PvX guild leaning heavily towards World versus World. We are here to meet up with like-minded guilds and help make the game and our server a fun experience for everybody.
Thanks for saying your piece. Thor from the Asgardians, please go ahead.
Hello, I'm Thor from Asgardians. We're an American-Dutch guild that focuses both on PvP and PvE, and we were playing on Sifala, so meet up with us if you want to.
Alright, thanks a lot. Phoenix?
This is Phoenix from Subterfuge Gaming. We're a PvX guild focusing more on World v World. We're here to have some fun.
Thanks a lot, Phoenix. Buzz of Fist of the Empire.
Hi, my name's Buzz. I'm here representing Fist of the Empire, also known as Foe. We're a PvP guild, and just here to be a part of the community and try to make Guild Wars the great game that it can be.
Thanks a lot, Buzz. Siren, I don't know how to say that guild name, but go ahead.
I'm Siren from Khajiitik. I am the leader of Khajiitik. We're a guild looking forward to the PvP and World v World content in Guild Wars.
Very cool. Quenta.
I'm Quenta. I'm from Unlimited. We are a World vs. World focused guild. We're just about killing people and a whole lot of them.
Very awesome. Strat, you're up.
Hey fellas, Strategy here from Infamy Gaming. We're an esports organization looking to build a strong Guild Wars 2 division. Our primary focus is World v World, and we'll be running a couple of competitive SPVP teams for tournaments.
Very cool. Amon from Down Under? Or is that Kudaloo that was going to do yours? Kudaloo, if you'd like to go ahead. Alright, I guess we'll come back to you guys for now. Pirates, Shadow of Apophis.
It's Pyratus, and I'm the GM of Shadow of Apophis. We're focused on World vs. World and PvP, part of the Great Titan Alliance, and it's nice to meet everyone.
Very cool. Kill of the Brotherhood.
Pyro will be doing this one.
Alright, Fire, go ahead. Alright, Fire, we're going to skip you for now unless Kill you'd like to pipe in for him.
I'll do so. Hey guys, it's Kill Them All from the Brotherhood. Right now we are a PvX guild, mostly focusing on World v World. We also do PvE and PvE, PvP and PvE pretty strongly. We are part of the Great Titan Alliance.
Very cool. Oars from Team Legacy. Looks like Oars may not be in this channel right now. We'll be moving on to Iron Fungus. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, this is Iron Fungus of Cruentum. It is my pleasure to introduce our brand new PVX guild, one that is based in the US, both strangers and close friends alike, that banded together to form a family-like guild for Guild Wars 2. We are small, easygoing, drama-free, and focused on making a name for ourselves in WW and SPVP. If that sounds like your kind of thing, feel free to give us a look at Cruentum.com. Thanks.
Alright, we'll go back to Kulu.
Hi guys, this is Katu from Danda Guild. We're a PVX guild mostly, but we prefer to be like seen as a community rather than a guild. Been around since the Fest of the 9th last year, so we're looking forward to seeing what we think we can in Guild Wars 2.
Alright, Tarkus of Resonance, go ahead.
Hey everybody, this is Tarkus from Resonance, and Resonance is a PVX guild, where a majority of our current focus is actually on World v World, although we are planning on being kind of competitive in PvP, but we're not ultra hardcore about it. We're basically trying to build community right now, and I hope this meeting is very productive.
Very cool. Thorn, go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm Thorn, an officer from Euphoria. Our guild is mostly focused in World v World and is part of the Great Titan Alliance.
Cool. Bazvan, if you'd like to go ahead.
Hello everyone, it's Bazman from winterwolves.org. It's my first time here, really looking forward to this. We are really more of a PvE guild and planning on focusing on World vs. World and looking forward to some alliances for just to dominate there and to experience more of the game. Thanks.
Awesome. Ors, my man, go ahead.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize that it had switched the servers. I'm Ors. I'm one of the website staff for Team Legacy, as you can see, teamlegacy.net. Our main guild is primarily focused on World vs. World. We're planning on running at least 2 structured PvP teams as well, and we're very much, as you've seen, unfortunately, Freelancer's listening in, but he can't talk. Part of the large community at large, and we invite theory crafting discussions and just anything Guild Wars 2.
Very cool. Dracorin, I hope I didn't butcher that.
Sorry, was that me? Yeah, hi,
Yes, it was.
Dracorin. I'm one of the council members for Synapse. We're an oceanic-based PvP guild that's heavily based in Singapore. We're also one of the oceanic parts of the Great Titan Alliance.
Very cool. Rage and PM about possibly no audio, if you want to check it out. Alright, Crackbone, if you'd like to go ahead.
This is Crackbone. I am the admin of Guild Wars 2, worldvsworld.com. Know most of you guys. We are a fan site devoted to PvP. A little bit more heavy focus with World vs. World content. Also big into promoting guilds that participate in that game type. So if you're interested in taking a look at some of our articles or utilizing some of our inter-guild tools, come by and see us. GW2WVW.com. Thanks.
Alright, very cool. Now, if there's any guilds here that didn't get to introduce themselves here, don't bother sending me a PM right now. If you do talk later, though, please introduce yourselves real quick before you say your piece. I totally forgot to introduce our staff members that are attending. I'm Beetle. I'm from Subterfuge Gaming. I volunteer at Frag World to do some artwork, and I also am one of the community members for the Guild Wars 2 team. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris B. I'm the Operations and Community Manager for fragworld.org. If you haven't signed up for the site already, I recommend you do and check out our Guild Wars section. Thanks for coming, guys.
Raging, go ahead. Or he actually might be looking into something.
I'm trying to work on my stream stuff. Does anyone know if we have audio yet?
It works.
We got audio now? Okay, cool. Yeah, I work for Frag World. I'm helping out with streaming. But I don't have a lot of else to say, so All right.
All right. I'd like to just thank everybody else, or all these guilds for coming out again, guys. Great turnout. Our first topic of discussion is going to be the beta weekend and this stress test here. I'm going to ask if you do have a piece on it, please just PM me. Do not talk outright. We're going to keep the cross chatter to a minimum. So PM me, and within our time frame here, I'll let you say your piece. Nobody with any feedback yet. I have not gotten a PM.
Also, for everybody who is watching our stream right now, I'd like to say hello. I'm actually going to log onto the stream now, and if you have any questions, I will shoot them through the meeting here.
All right, here we go. Amon, you got some feedback? Go ahead.
Yes, hi, I'm Amon from Down Under Guild. Well, my only concern, and I think many of you share the same point of view, is basically getting all of our guild members into the same server we are using. We are around 160 members at the moment, and not even one single stress test or beta event we were able to get everyone on the same server. So I would like that to be addressed at some point, where we have like something like guild program before launch, especially for those who already pre-purchased the game, or the other option, which is basically have a bigger servers. Either way.
Really good point. Thanks a lot, Amon. Quenta, if you'd like to go ahead with some of your feedback.
Yeah, as a former Dark Age of Camelot player, I just have to say that this whole world versus world business is like a dream come true. Every game that a lot of us have played in Unlimited has been just kind of we're just waiting for something like this to come along. World versus World is just the greatest experience that I've had to play in an MMO in such a long time. There's just so much killing and just destroying of people and watching the QQ flow. It's just a great experience, and this is an awesome thing that ArenaNet has done. Just kick ass.
Very awesome, very awesome. Oris, some feedback, please.
Yeah, Oris from Team Legacy. Just want to get some feedback based on, I don't know how many of you kind of watched what we did in World versus World, but I just want to go over a couple of things that the developers kind of found out due to our guild kind of spending the entire weekend staying up and playing World versus World. The first one is yes, it's awesome, it's dynamic, it is quite the event, and unfortunately for us, we found that the matchmaking wasn't exactly where we thought it would be, because us going in, we were hoping that the matchmaking would be, and they admit that it wasn't anywhere, it wasn't where it was supposed to be, but we literally took the entire map, and I believe it was around an hour and 20 minutes maximum, just because, and unfortunately, what happened is that everybody else gave up, and that was it was quite frustrating for us, in the sense that we all wanted a world versus world, but there was nothing to do because everyone gave up. And you know, we were going against them. We saw some of the developers there, and it was fun killing them and everything, and actually them getting to see what we were doing. But at the same time, it was a little bit frustrating, because after an hour and 20 minutes, you're up in the middle of the night and you go, well, I guess we're all going to go back to PvE because there's nothing to do. The other thing was that, at least this is more of my personal feedback, was I thought that the keeps in the towers and everything could be a lot stronger. It seems like right now, based on the beta weekend, that the gates, even the reinforced gates, aren't, and the upgrades aren't to the level of where you can go from your time zone, wherever it is, and feel comfortable leaving. You almost feel like you have to stay there because of how quickly they can be brought down. And in fact, when at the end of the beta weekend, when we all got our golems out, and we had literally 100 golems walking around, we could take down a door in less than 10 seconds. Just everybody spinning their golems. So it was a little bit dismaying, I would say, at first, to be able to see a gate go down that fast and go, well, there's really not enough of a challenge there, especially if it's a reinforced keep, and if you have 100, 200 siege golems and they all hit the door at once, even then it's still going to go down pretty fast. So
that frustrating element a little bit to see that things need to be just a little bit harder to take, so you can feel comfortable going, yes, we accomplished what we wanted this time, or maybe, hey, I need to build alliances with, like in our case, with guilds from other time zones to be able to be a strong server. Otherwise, everybody leaves at prime time if it's all North American, and somebody who's outside of that prime time has full on reign to just destroy everything you just spent 4 or 5 hours working on. So there's definitely some really good things. We're working on big, large-scale tactics. Then at the same time, there's those lulls and things that they're still working on. The game's being improved every time we see it. Every time we get to a BWE, but it's those little things, and we're getting there. But it is a heck of a lot of fun to play, and especially to coordinate with people. And I for one, really do enjoy my time in World versus World.
All right. There's a couple people that have some feedback against Ors or some World v World stuff. We're going to get through you guys as quick as possible here. Strategy, if you'd like to go have some World v World. Or some feedback, excuse me.
Yeah, a couple things on that. I mean, if you're sacking everything in the middle of the night, you're not going to get much strong resistance, but it only takes like 5 people standing inside of a gate with a bunch of ballistas to stop a big Zerg. So, I mean, if you're running around with 200 golems, the only thing that's going to stop that is another force like 200 arrow carts. I mean, you definitely like set up a scenario that's not meant for like the typical, so you can't blame ArenaNet for that. I mean, you're going to have to wait until you're matched up with other servers. The only thing I would say is when there is like large competitions going on, they at least early on, excuse me, my throat's a little scratchy here. Early on, I think they're going to need to do really, really rapid like matchmaking processes, because we definitely noticed it in ours too. Like, it gets demoralizing the casual servers when they're stuck up against servers of huge World v World organizations, and we found it got to the point where like the other 2 servers even logging on in the middle of our like our middle matchmaking, we played against Yaxpin and Darkhaven, and I mean that was like some of the most insane stuff ever. I mean, huge massive forces. I mean, I guarantee you if you'd showed up with 200 golems, the Reddit horde would have showed up with like 8 million arrow carts and ballistas, and you would have had your fun. I think the big thing is early on figuring out which servers are going to dominate and making sure they're properly matched so that the casual servers can play against casual servers and have fun, and the people like Infamy, TL, Paradigm, Rage Coalition, all these up and coming big names that I don't know everybody yet. I'm still learning the community, but I mean they need to get us in the same servers and playing together early on so that we don't have our casual players that are going to drive the funding for ArenaNet leaving in hordes because they got stuck up against, a force that decided they were going to roll with 200 golems and ruin their day.
All right. We are getting a little long-winded in our comments, guys. I'm not yelling at anybody, but I just want to get a lot of people in here. Siren, if you'd like to talk here.
Yeah, I was on the butt end of a server rollover with our group. And it's more a matter that after the beta weekend was over, I know that the Guild Wars team posted that particular matchup system was broken, and kudos to them for doing that, because it was amazing that they quickly said, no, this was intentionally broken. So I'd like to see what they're going to be doing for the next one, because it was a little bit demoralizing. However, we were able to grab a bunch, and we were a roving band hitting just random things and had a lot of fun doing it, even though we couldn't take down the big stuff.
Very cool. People PM me about World v World. We will have a World v World specific segment here. I will be then calling you on there. Tempero, if you'd like to talk about influence and multi-guilding.
Yeah, my biggest concern really in the turmoils of what this might cause is we're just really curious about the details on how multi-guilding affects influence, because we are up into a lot of people that really just want to be in multiple guilds at the same time, do various different things, have small little groups, static PvE things, but we're always afraid of, well, won't that affect the overall your main guild's influence? We just want to know about influence, and that's our big thing, and we would love ArenaNet to kind of give information about how influence affects multi-guilding. That's it.
All right. A couple of comments on that. The influence system is ever changing. I did say earlier that multi-guilding, you guys, I'm sure you know, influence only is gained when you are representing the guild. It seems that if you're in the same guild across a different server, say I was in Subterfuge Gaming on Crystal Desert, but or say my account was on a different server, I can be in the guild and guild chat spans the servers, but the influence is separate. Alright, Shinari Renal? I'm terrible with names, sorry. Maybe not there. Buzz, go ahead.
Yeah, my response, it's response to Oars. We played on the Anvil Rock server, and we experienced the exact same thing with our server came out, and we took the map, swept it, and the other two servers just didn't want to come out to fight. And I believe that in that situation, the last one on Sunday, they were new servers, so they were just new to the game. The second point that he brought up about upgrading the defenses, I think it's working as intended. That, you know, the advantage goes to the defenders, even if it's upgraded, but you need to actively be defending the keeps and the towers. I don't think the game would be much fun if they were able to buff up the guards and the defenses to where just the AI and the NPCs could keep back a force. And then the third thing I wanted to bring up, what I found, I spent time doing PvE the last beta weekend event, and I was out in PvP. By far, World v World was the fastest experience. So anybody that's concerned with the fastest leveling, as long as you're out taking the keeps and getting those objectives, that's the fastest experience. The one concern that I'd like to see ArenaNet address, and I think they did comment on it, was that the rewards, experience rewards for defending keeps would be in line with what it is for actually taking the keeps.
Alright, well said. Shinari, go ahead. You may be muted there, Shinari. I don't see your name in the list, however.
Are you good to go now? You can talk.
Maybe having some mic issues. We'll come back to you again. Kudaloo?
Just in response to what Oz was talking about, I can see there probably being something like limits to the number of golems allowed in any one server, maybe not, and also something to help with the balance. Maybe a period of free server transfers early on, so that if we're finding that a few servers are way overpowered, we can move to, Oceanic Guild or guilds that aren't on the American standard time off to another server to balance things out, because it seems definitely while America's sleeping, the Oceanic guilds have an easy time of it. Then back during the day, it's much more of a challenge. So that would be nice. Thanks.
Alright, we're actually gonna get moving along to the next topic here, guys. Sorry if I missed anybody, but we're gonna talk about the new trait system. Comments, concerns on it, send me a PM and we'll get it going. Bazman, go ahead.
I would just say that I was strongly against the changes that they were making to it when I first heard about it, for all the reasons pretty much everyone said, where you're not going to have all of the tremendous versatility that you had originally. But after having played it and seeing what they did, and their reasons behind it, I'm actually kind of glad they did it the way they did. The biggest reason in my case is that they did kind of make that highest tier of trait where you can only get one or the other, so that you can't just max out every single trait by just taking the single most powerful ones possible. So there are kind of like ultimate traits in a way.
Alright, Temper, do you have some words on it?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I was like him. I was a little skeptical, but then when I got in there and started actually working around with the builds, I found that a lot of the really good, well-balanced builds, I could still make those and not really get affected much. If anything, I was only shy one really powerful trait ability that was, I felt probably could do without anyway. I felt in the overall balance of things, it makes things a little bit better, and it definitely will ward against away more of those 15-second stun lock builds that people were getting really proficient at. I started to see a lot less of those in the past BWE.
All right, cool. Quenta, some words.
Yeah, I wish that they would. The trait system's cool. I guess the changes they made weren't a big deal, but I wish that they would make a separate trait tool system thing for World vs. World. Like, when you do structured PvP, you have all of your traits, and that's like a whole separate thing. I hope I'm explaining this well enough. But I don't like that I have to go into PvE and play in Mamby-Pamby land to and have a certain setup to do that. Where, if I want to go just kill people all the time in World vs. World, I mean, having to swap out traits or reskill all the time, just kind of silly and dumb. It'd be cool if you had separate trait trees for all three versions. PvP, World vs. World, and PvE.
All right. Thorn from Euphoria.
Yeah, I had a little issue with traits. Specifically, if you wear a necro and there was a trait, I think it was in the blood death magic, which made that your marks were bigger. I put a mark down, activated that trait, and then put another one down on the same spot, and it didn't change the area, so I was kind of confused about that.
Yeah, I think there was a couple people that were confused about that. I did see that around. Strategy, you've got a question for the guys here?
Yeah, I just had a question on what you guys felt about class balances. I'm not going to single out any classes or QQ. I'm a pretty big fan of how things are, but how do you guys feel about certain classes being able to build very, very tanky, but still spec in a way where they have large amounts of burst damage?
All right, if you have an answer to that, you can PM me. I'm going to keep going here. Chaos. Chaos from the Brotherhood, you there? Alright, we'll come back to you. Amon.
Sorry.
Just
I'm on my phone, but
Chaos, if you'd like to go ahead.
where you could.
Oh, I guess you timed out. Alright, go ahead, Amon. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. Just a comment on the class balances. I think the main question should be is range versus melee. You always have the melee with more health than the range classes, but at the same time, range classes do more damage. And to make melee more interesting, you have to have them do as well good damage as well. And it always like this fight between range and melee, and nobody was ever able to actually perfect it, even in a full PvE game or a full PvP game focused. So it kind of worries me because warriors with tanky builds can one-shot rangers, such as the wizards. And at the same time, I'm not very sure if the range classes can do the same thing, but they can kite forever as well. So it's kind of not balanced at the moment, really, between melee and range. Not class versus class, but as much as melee versus range. That's what I think.
Yeah, I feel that they've received a lot of feedback on that melee versus range thing, and I'm assuming it's being worked on, but it was quite noticeable for several classes there. Chaos, if you're back and like to say your piece.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're a little, I guess I don't even know the word for it, but go ahead. Let's see.
Basically, along that whole trait thing for different areas, Guild Wars 1 had a system where you could save your builds. If Arena Net could implement something similar, where you could just save your builds and you had your build specifically for PvE and PvP, that would go through and redo the entire thing every time. If they could do something like that eventually at some point, I think it would help out.
Yeah, that was definitely in place in the first Guild Wars. I would assume we could see it. I mean, they've got the framework for it. We can only hope. Kill from the Brotherhood.
You guys hear me all right?
Yep.
All right, I was gonna say something along the lines of unbalanced classes. I played a Mesmer and structured PvP a lot, and one thing I noticed a lot was that if it wasn't a thief, whenever you got a thief down, if it wasn't a thief being able to teleport everywhere, and it was an elementalist turning tornado and just spamming you around. But only thing that I'd say was the biggest problem would probably have to be back to the thief. If you ever played against a thief in structured PvP, you'd see that if you want to finish them, whenever they went down, you'd have to basically click F before they even really appeared. You'd have to get lucky and hit them instantly. There was no there he is, run over and get him. And I just feel that that should be changed. The cooldown should be heightened.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Any other pieces on traits? If you guys got them, PM me. If not, we're gonna slowly move on here. We're gonna talk. I know we don't have a ton of PvEers in here. We got a lot of World v World guilds, but maybe we got any comments on the PvE dungeon, the Ascalonian Catacombs. Anybody get a chance to do that? Let me know. Alright, Shanari, you want to try your mic now?
Hello there, is it working?
Yes.
Yep, you're a little low, but we got you.
Okay, excellent. Yes, I did both the story mode and parts of the explorable mode of the dungeon. Lot of fun. Pretty PvP actually in the explorable, in that there's a lot of kiting. You just can't stand there and spam your skills. What I was going to make the comment though was certainly in the teams I went, there was still a tendency to want tank, DPS, and heal classes in there. So whether or not it's a hangover from WoW and SWTOR, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if the Trinity is fully dead in those areas yet.
Yeah, well said. I personally felt that the Guardian was one of the biggest utility classes out there. You could use them for anything. We've got a couple PMs here. If anybody talking about the PvE, I've got a question too, if you'd like to add to it, is what did you think about the token costs for armor pieces, and what do we think we can do with those? Think they're too high, that kind of thing. Kill, if you'd like to go ahead from the Brotherhood.
Alright, along your question, I'll go ahead and answer that first. I myself felt that it was kind of ridiculous. Each set of gear is for a certain level, and it seems like by the time you can even afford one piece of that set, that you'd already be moving on to the next set of gear. But maybe it's only for looks, but as long as stats for that certain level, then it is just not worth it to even go after those until you have enough in your highest, you're level 80, enough coins to buy whatever you want to look like. So if it's just to look nice, and I guess it's all right. But as far as using it to actually help you level using the stats, it's to me useless, because you out level it by the time you can afford one piece. But I myself, thanks to having wonderful members in the Brotherhood, was able to do Ascalon Catacombs normal and explorable mode. It seems like as we were playing it that they did change things. There were several times where the server would restart and things that we were working on would change. We were working on the second boss who had a problem with he'd pull in the whole group, he'd pull you through walls, he'd pull you through wherever you were, and he'd instantly AoE and one-shot the whole group. We at first thought it was probably our fault messing up, but it seems like after they kept restarting it, they ended up changing it. And by the last day of the last beta weekend event, we had guilds group running it, and they ended up taking away the whole thing entirely from what was seen. But compared to other games such as WoW, I played a lot of WoW. The PvE is extremely hard compared to that. It's you definitely have to tell whenever a boss is gonna make a move. It definitely intells very nicely. The only thing I would say is, there's a lot of boss mechanics that they could change, such as if you guys ever the spider boss in explorable mode, spider would summon millions of minions and poison you to death. But I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be changes up to that. I feel that trash could have its health lowered and all that.
All right, well said, well said. Thorn from Euphoria.
I had the chance to do Asgard Catacombs story 3 times and explorable mode once. What I found that was too tough in both of them was, of course, the Spider Queen. If you didn't CC her, it wasn't as bad, but you still had to make sure someone always made sure she didn't reset. And in the normal mode, the lovers were just how they were moving was a bit weird. And what was too easy was the ranger in story, that you could just destroy him without even doing anything. And in explorable mode, the trap part in Path 2 was extremely easy.
Alright, Amon, if you'd like to go ahead.
Oh yes, my point is more of a concern about end-game PvE. Well, I am mostly PvP player on most of my guilds as well. But at the same time, raids, I think, is something everybody does enjoy, or most people do, even if they are PvP-oriented guild. While I know there are no raids, and there is the explorable mods inside every dungeon, I still think if you want end-game to work perfectly for those guys, you need to give them something to farm, I believe. A raid would be really amazing to be added to the game, I guess. A raid function in general is good to have, even for World versus World, instead of having different squads and really tough to manage from the interface. That'll be all.
Alright. At this point, I'll open it up also to the World v World dungeon. If we could just stick to the PvE dungeon, the World v World dungeon, but any comments also on the new World v World dungeon would be welcome. Temper, go ahead.
Well, at least I can speak for my guild. I know a lot of people were very disappointed within Rage Coalition with the actual dungeon itself. We were expecting something a lot from Darkness Falls of Dark Age of Camelot, something that had everyone come in there fighting for whatever kind of resources, bosses, whatever kind of things that offered. Instead, it was a giant jump dungeon. While it was nice, it just felt out of place for World versus World. It'd be nice to have something like that in the game, but I just don't really feel it needs to be something that is in World versus World. I mean, other people felt it was fantastic, loved it, whatnot, but, me, myself personally, I just felt like it just felt weird. And it'd be nice to have something where it was actually dungeon-like, where we had objectives, and it was had 3 different ways to approach it, and it just would be nice to have a very Darkness Falls-y kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old school. That's just me.
Yeah, I do know some people were kind of like, what's this doing in my World v World? But you never know. I mean, I'm going to go off on a little comment here. Sorry, guys. But if there was the points where with the server domination, yes, that's when people were like, all right, let's go jump around down there. I mean, that thing took me at least 2 hours. I had to stop streaming it because I was so terrible at it. I was like, what is this jumping, platforming MMO? But honestly, it was a pretty cool thing. The whole darkness area of it, where you had to grab the torches, was really well done and interesting, and I haven't seen that in a while in a game. Alright, Kill from the Brotherhood.
Hey guys, this is Kill again. Okay, along the lines of the dungeon in the Eternal Battlegrounds, I agree that it is kind of out of place, but I'm going to also disagree in saying that there was times where I found it very useful. With them always telling us that they're not sure if they're going to wipe our characters or not, I found, sometimes people would blow their gold, on the last day of the beta weekend event just to try out siege weapons and all this and, try crafting and all that. But I know, I had no gold today, and I went to the jump dungeon, got myself a siege golem and a couple siege weapons, the rams and all that. So it's very useful there. Though I did notice that in other worlds, the other Borderlands, that they're basically the same. They're a little bit easier to do, and they consist of getting 2 parts of 1 key and opening it up. It all has the same reward of siege weapons. So I do think it's a very very nice to have in there, and it's little side objectives, which they've shown in several of their several in PvE, PvP, and all that. And it's just a good way to take a break from fighting and sieging and just get some rewards. You also get good gear from it as well.
All right. Yeah, that was the cool thing about it. If anybody has any comments about what they got from that chest, let me know, and we'll call on you. But that was the one thing. It's like you kill a Diablo boss, all he drops is blues. You get to the top of this jumping puzzle, you're getting some siege equipment, you're getting some decent stuff. That's pretty cool, and you definitely don't feel like, oh, I climbed all the way up here for nothing. What is this? All right, Quenta from Unlimited, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of like to piggyback on what Temperhoof said, that the dungeon just seemed really out of place. It was like another jumping puzzle in World vs. World, and like Dark Age of Camelot with Darkness Falls, it was more of like the reward for doing well. It was another incentive to do World vs. World, to do good at it, and it just seemed really out of place and kind of pointless. I mean, it was fun watching everybody jump off stuff and fail, but otherwise it wasn't that great.
Absolutely. All right. Anybody else have any comments there? If not, we can move right along. Looks like Siren. Go ahead.
My husband actually did that jumping puzzle, and we were on a server where we would get bans of both sides in that place, and it was a PvP jumping puzzle. You literally had to make sure that you got to the end, or if you saw other people in there, they were killing you. So for our servers, it seemed to be a little bit more dynamic in regards to not just watching your server mates do the puzzle, but actually having to fight your way through it.
Absolutely, and I did see there was a point where we had all 3 keeps, so I thought I was fine, but there was actually 2 guys still camping within that World v. World dungeon doing some of the traps, and I can see that where it would actually be pretty crazy and pretty awesome down there. Thorn, go ahead.
I just have like a little, not suggestion, but idea for the point of doing the actual World v. World jumping puzzle. If you could make it, the camps that you actually have to compete for the friendship, I guess, of like, I don't know, harpies or whatever. That they could implement, like you pick up an item at the start of the jumping puzzle, and you can only have one, and when you deposit it at the top, it puts a point to the friendship, and that gives you points or something.
That would be pretty cool. All right, guys, we're gonna move on. If we have no more comments on this dungeon, I don't think I've missed anybody. No, it doesn't look like it. We're gonna move on to structured PvP and improvements that we saw within this last beta weekend. What people noticed that some people might not have noticed with buying the different rewards, stuff like that. And let me know through a PM, and let's get this going. Kill, you got a comment? Go ahead.
Alright, in my guild, I'm head of the structured PvP department, and with that, I've run a lot of dungeons. I haven't read up if they're going to change it or not yet, but from what I've seen so far, it's kind of hard to set up a tournament if you want one just in the guild, but I'm sure that's just something just for the beta. As far as the gear goes, there's a lot of times where you don't necessarily get gear that you can use, and sorry for that, was my phone. But I will say that the side objectives in structured PvP is a nice plus. I like how there are things you can do besides going to take a cap and the conquest mode they have set up for every single map. But I think as well, whenever you hold down B and you see yourself on the list and you see your points, I feel there are several times where you can be rewarded for points. One thing I did not agree is that if you're defending a point and you're slowing down a whole group and you're doing a real good job, you won't get rewarded for keeping a group off of a point or defending the point unless that group actually takes the point and you can get it back. You only get rewarded if if you actually fail and then you take it back. But as far as them getting on it and you pushing them straight off and kicking the crap out of them, you get nothing for it, and I really disagree with that.
Yeah, definitely. I personally really liked, I believe it was Niflheim that had the neutrals. I love that map. You could give me that map 10 times over. I mean, everybody plays League of Legends on the same map over and over, don't we? So I really like that map. Another question I can pose in the structured PvP area, if anybody wants to comment, is I wonder if we're going to see if your PvE character is level 80 if you're going to be able to head into the mist, similar to Guild Wars 1, when you hit 20, you could participate in different PvP areas without being a PvP character. I'd like to see that, and possibly then those armor rewards would come and play on your PvE character, even if they are cosmetic. I think that would be pretty cool. Shinari Renal, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I'm just interested in what people's thoughts were about the random PvP reward chests and whether people think the spectre of Scrotal will haunt ANET regardless of what other mechanisms they put in place.
Alright, Kill from the Brotherhood.
Yeah, I did special PvP, like I said, got a lot of those chests. I feel that when you're rewarded as you level up with the PvP for wins, I think that when you won, it's just kind of a taste of what you can buy with that gear. It's when it seems like the chests are completely random, and if you look in the locker, you can see the sets you can have, but like again, this is why I thought the PvE sets are only for look. These PvP sets of gear are only for look. I mean, you can get all the marks and sigils to customize them the way you want, but as far as getting nice looking gear, that's where it just goes in as collectible towards your locker. And I feel that these chests, as you go up in the levels of the structured PvP ranking, that they really give you, when you're rewarded one for leveling up, it really gives you a nice nice test. Like, what if I was to waste all this hard-earned currency on this item? I mean, I don't know what's in it. Instead, this game gives you one. It says, hey, you want to know what's in this? Here's a look. If you like it, go get more.
Yeah, well said. I believe they were also giving chests for winning streaks, if I'm not mistaken. I believe a couple of the Team Legacy guys that were doing some structured found that out. Anybody else with some comments on the structured PvP? Let me know here. We'll keep this open for just a sec. Alright, well, PM me if you got any more structured PvP areas. We are a little ahead of schedule, but that's great for us because we're on to World v World section. And I know everybody is just like, yo, where's the World v World comments? Here we go. We're going to start off with Amon from Down Under.
Yes, about World versus World, aside from class balances and the golem balances and all of that, you have the time zone balance, which is a very huge issue. Coming from an Australian Oceanic guild, basically what happened is, when you have an organized Zerg guild playing World versus World when North America is all sleeping, is just gonna wipe the map. It's not fun for anybody, actually, not for the North American nor for the Oceanic guild, because they are not fighting anybody almost. What happened is, first beta weekend, basically Australian guilds got together and chose 2 servers to be the unofficial Australian or Oceanic servers. And at night time, in North America, it's our prime time after work or after uni, we basically just wiped the map. Easy enough, every single point. No resistance, almost no fights. All that we have to fight is actually in PCs.
Yeah, there definitely was some Zergs going around. Oh, I'm sorry for cutting you off. You weren't done.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Time zone need to be balanced, and giving us like an official Oceanic guild is still not gonna fix it, because you're gonna put us against North American servers, and we're still gonna play on when they are asleep, and they're gonna play when we are asleep. So I don't know how could you solve that problem, but it have to be addressed, even if it's not in a direct method, like trying to reorganize something between the guilds, between ArenaNets and the Australian guilds, or restricting IP addresses into a certain server just to balance that out. Would be cool.
Alright. Strategy, you wanted to add one thing about structured real quick?
Yeah, I was wondering if anybody else thought having the ability to like name your tournament teams and structured would be good. Like, I know our competitive guys would probably prefer to have like a C in their name or something, so when goofballs like me go in with the IG banner, I'm not like raining on their little parade there for prestige.
Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong through PM, but I believe the Heroes Ascent and Guild Wars 1 allowed you to pick a team name, or it just picked the party leader. I'm not entirely sure. Quenta from Unlimited, go ahead.
I would like to see more incentive to do World vs. World. I mean, beyond like the fact that it is absolutely amazing already, I can see for some people it might get worn out. I mean, it's absolutely cool kicking people's teeth in and all that fun. But I mean, I think they're on the right track with the relics. You know, where you get like the bonus, the hit point bonus. I'm thinking more like in Dark Age of Camelot, where they had 2 different relics for each faction, and if you did it for each server, I mean, you'd draw more people into it. It would be more desperate, and I just think it would add a lot more to World vs. World as it is. But as it is already, it is fantastic. It is. I don't know. You know, like when you haven't been on a swing for a long time and you get like that special feeling that feels kind of cool. That's what it's like in World vs. World. It's just like nothing else. But if they put like more incentive, that would be better.
Great analogy there. Yeah, World v. World was a blast for everyone, I think. We'd just like to see some changes to it. There's a lot of Zergs going around. Let's see here. Kill from the Brotherhood wants to talk about some Siege.
Only thing I want to say about the Siege items is that I really hope they implement making the Siege items tradable. Like, be able to put them in the mail and send them over to somebody, or even if they do, just make it so you have to walk up to them and give it to them. Because I know it's kind of a big hassle whenever you gotta, hey, come over here, I'm gonna put this on the ground so you can pick it up, or, you know, let's me run over there and put it over here since you need this. You know, if you could have an easier way to get it around without having to be there yourself, then I think that would help out a lot and just kind of make things a lot less frustrating.
All right, Tarkus would like to talk about Oceanics and their roles in World v. World.
Hey guys, I've been saying this for quite some time, that having an unofficial Oceanic server is a ridiculous idea. There was a comment in chat a little bit earlier saying that that's the reason why there aren't any Oceanic servers. It's simply due to the fact that what happened with Sea of Sorrows, as in, I don't want to step on any toes here, but it basically turned into a massive Zerg fest. As in, if you have a large community that only fits in a certain part of the day, what happens to the rest of the part of the day? Everyone comes in and takes your stuff. The thing is, the most successful communities and the most successful alliances will probably be servers that have a multinational cooperation. As in, if you have people from EU, have people from North America, and have people from Oceania, you'll be successful no matter what, due to the fact of there will be no part of the day whereupon the server population will drop astronomically. As in, that's what I'm saying now, as in, social populations are it's the most important component of World v. World. I can say that now.
Alright. Temper, go ahead.
I'm not sure if a lot of people I'm not sure if anyone noticed this, but added during the last beta weekend, they added a couple of world events for World vs. World in the form of these really powerful veteran bosses that you can PvE. They currently have 3 really important ones that I know of that are just kind of roaming around in certain locations, which are very nice if you're going around in a very small party. And they kind of work along the south, where you can just kind of create a nice little patrol and kind of hit, while you're hitting each of these veterans and going between each of these objectives, you're also kind of guarding the area. And every time you kill one, it's about the same experience as capturing a tower or killing a tower lord. So it's very nice. I would like to see more of these veterans scattered throughout different locations, not just the south, but also the north, mid-ground. Have a lot more, especially in Eternal Battlegrounds, and it would be especially nice if they throw some down in that stupid jump dungeon. I want more of these.
Yeah, well said. And I'd like to touch on what Tarkus said about Oceanics. It's Oceanics, when it comes to alliances or servers and stuff like that, it may not seem you guys don't have your own server, yes, that may be, but you are so vital to every server, and that is just how it is. I believe Resonance, Tarkus knows that, Titan is commenting on it. If you guys have, I would love to wake up in the morning when I go to work and go see like some uploaded streams of the Australians, the New Zealand guys, just defending these keeps while I'm sleeping. I mean, that's just cool. That just puts it in that whole, you're just part of a world, and there's people out there when you're not out there, and I think that's really, really awesome. Amon from Down Under.
Yes, one more comment on the Oceanic servers. I think, well, my guild think otherwise, but I think personally having an Oceanic server is a terrible idea. An official one that is actually based on Australia or New Zealand or even Singapore. Reason is because we're going to fight each other. We're going to need to fight other Oceanic servers to actually have fun. The current way is fine, I guess, to a certain point, but what doesn't make it perfect is that we don't have an alliance system yet. I mean, it's all cool that we defend our alliance keeps, but every guild would wish to have their flag up the keep, not their alliance guild flag. So if we have like a united flag or a unique flag, a flag for the entire alliance, then it's going to benefit everybody. And the influence point of defending the keep benefit everybody instead of just a guild that actually keeping the keep, even though they are part of the alliance. So the current system is not perfect by any means, and really you need the alliance system to work for this to work, and you need to count that Australian guilds will play, or Oceanic guilds in general, gonna play when everybody else is asleep, and they're only gonna fight each other or crazy people from North America who are up at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, one of those crazies is me. Look out. No. Again, on touch of the alliance system, we haven't seen anything within the beta, but I mean, it's in the first Guild Wars. People are going to cry for it eventually, just like the Guild Hall system. People are going to want it. I mean, I guess I shouldn't have said cry, because they're not going to whine about it. They're going to say, hey, we had this in the last one. Could you guys bring this over? It would be great, and I think alliances would be awesome. I mean, that would be definitely something we need to see. Along with Guild Halls, even though they're purely cosmetic, everybody likes to run around and do their emotes in them, doing their jump sitting or whatnot. Chaos from the Brotherhood wants to do some talk about squads.
Okay, so I've been a squad commander since the first Open Beta Weekend event, and while there have been improvements to the system from the first one to the second Beta Weekend, I want to see a lot of improvements done to it. It's really clunky at the moment. I think everyone can speak to that. I think everyone knows that, but I really want to see a lot of progress made by ArenaNet, because I think if you made that better, it would just put the icing on the cake for World v World. It would make things so much easier for your squad commanders, you know, your raid leaders. You know, sure, there's organization, everyone showing TeamSpeak, Mumble, whatever it be, but just being able to see that, you know, physically as a visual in front of you and not having to alt-tab or anything like that, I just think it would help out World v World so much.
Yeah, I would agree. The squad leader system with the commander icons, I'm sure some of you know of. They added the squad chat, but I would love. I'm not sure if it was in. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would love to be able to see who is following me in my squad. I'm not sure if that was in there, but we have the 6-person party, and I would like to see who's following me in my squad, so you can be like, hey, you guys are trailing off, that kind of thing, and it would just be a great help to everything. Strategy wants to talk about map markers before you go, Strat. I believe squad leaders were able to set waypoints and ping and stuff like that, but go ahead.
Oh, maybe it was just bugging out on me then. I just think having a way to like, and not just squads, but like maybe commanders will get this when you have a really, really large group. It'd be nice if you could like set up waypoints, especially if you could like number them, so you could kind of like pre-map out objectives. You know, if you're gonna hit like a certain number of objectives in order, if you could kind of like lay out like a 1, 2, 3, 4 type deal or something, I think that would be pretty major for group organization in World v World.
Alright, yeah, definitely. And I don't remember, I mean, I don't know if the pinging was in, somebody in chat saying that the writing wasn't in for squad leaders and that stuff. I think it was, I want to say pinging was in, but it was just no one really knew about it. I'm going to push forward the topic of World v. World and siege equipment. I don't know if anybody else noticed the aero cart debuff, stuff like that, but if you have any siege equipment specific things that you'd like to talk about, saying something's underpowered, something overpowered, trebuchets can hit my tower from their keep, oh no. Buzz of Fist would like to talk about some squad leader icon specifics.
Yeah, one of the things I'd like to see them expand on the squad leaders to have unique squad leader icons. I know with our guild, we had one of our members had the squad leader commander icon, but when you get on a map where you have 2 or 3, it can get kind of confusing which icon it is, and I just think it'd be really nice to either have the ability to turn off all commander icons that you're not a part of their squad, or make it unique, maybe change the colors or the actual symbol.
Yeah, well said. I mean, I definitely noticed it Friday, Saturday of the last beta weekend. There's only a couple of us that had the commander icon. I want to say there's probably 5 or so of us on our server of Crystal Desert. Excuse me. And Sunday, because of the gold cost, they were just all over the place, and you were just seeing commander icons all over the place. And a quick fix for that would just be one of those color hue boxes when you put on your thing. Allow yourself to just click a hue box. It could be just like the die system, just pop a couple boxes up, change your color of it. That way coordination would work that way. And we do know that the commander icon, the book for it is going to cost a lot more when release comes out, so start saving those pennies right when you get out. Thorn from Euphoria, go ahead.
I had a tiny little problem with siege weapons. The main problem was, in the Borderlands, when it was their own person's Borderlands, they could put down a treb on their actual zone where the other teams can't go, and they would shoot down on the towers and keeps, and you couldn't do anything about it because it was higher than you.
Yeah, that was noticeable. That was pretty rough. But you could argue if they are pushed up that far to their citadel like that they need some sort of advantage to get back in the game. Yes, we can't get to it, and yes, it's hitting us from down here, and we're angry about it. But you got to give the other players some way to get back in that game. They can't just be running out of their gates saying, "Don't touch me. I'm swiftness boosting past you. Please don't." So, Kudaloo, go ahead.
Just in general, I think almost all the siege equipment is maybe a little too cheap. That may have just been for the beta because no one had the money. But once people start getting up towards 80, level 80, 5, 10 gold, there's going to be nothing. So hopefully we can see some serious adjustment in the prices so that you can't have these huge zergs of people with the insane siege equipment and golems.
I think he's pointing at you or some freelancer with those goals. That was too cool, by the way. Let's talk, Dracorin, you'd like to talk about some siege on high ground.
Yeah, that's what the sieges on high ground is not necessarily just starting Borderlands. Like in the first beta weekend, we've seen people set up trebuchets inside the tower and attack the keep. So it's pretty much near impossible to get through when you have like a bunch of people turtling inside a tower, and this trebuchet catapult set up at the back, at the top of the towers. It's like almost impossible to reach them, and pretty much it gives them like free wall destructions to get into keeps.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, siege equipment has got to be one of the toughest things to balance for the guys at ANET. I mean, you got Trebs getting a little more range this last one. Their turn time is real slow, which is nice. I don't know if Ballista's got a turn time now, but they used to be able to just snap back and just start blasting. I think the supply costs will probably fluctuate on release. Who knows? I think the gold costs were pretty decent. I mean, there's going to be rich people in the game, and they're going to have these massive amounts of siege equipment blueprints, but it still comes down to the supply in that map. The Team Legacy guys had to go across however many places just to get the supply to supply all those things. Granted, it was about 100 siege golems, but you can have all these blueprints, but who's to say you have the supply at the time? You know what I mean? Any other comments about World v. World, guys? Siege equipment? I guess we could open it up to guild features, guild armor, stuff like that, if anybody has any questions on that. Just send me a PM. Shan, go ahead. Or Sean, sorry.
Yeah, hi again. Regarding guild features, personally, I still feel they have a long way to go before the guild features and functionality is up to the same standard as the rest of the game. For example, the roster doesn't tell you how many people you've got online, how many people you've got in the roster, or when they last logged in. The other area of concern for me, certainly because DVDF is a pretty big guild, is we've been told the guild cap will be raised, but that there will be some mechanism by which you'll have to raise it. My concern there is what happens on day one if the limit is 100 and you have 300 people sitting in the cold waiting for the 100 people to grind whatever to let them back in again. It just seems a really wrong thing to do, to have people to grind stuff so they could play with their friends in guild. Yeah, so yeah, sorry, yeah, they said it wasn't influence, it will be something else. But if it's something else, you'll still start from zero on day one. You just can't get away from it. So even if it's another mechanism, you'll still start from zero. Yeah, but yeah. So I'm just reading chat. Yeah. If it's an item shop, then who pays? And why should I have to pay real money to play with certain friends as a guild leader? It just seems silly to me. Well, or gems or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Watching the chat there. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems strange. You know, if it's okay to have a guild of 500 people, why not just have 500 people come in at once? Why would you have to earn it and have people sitting out there in the cold without a guild?
All right. Ammon also has a comment on the guild size.
I completely agree with you. I mean, the guild size being restricted at the beginning is really a terrible idea. We aim to be at 200 guild members, and we almost reached that number, and we're going to close the registration after that, just because we are not sure about the guild size. And it's going to be really a big problem for us if we start at like 100 limit, and then we have to do something to increase it. Guild members will not like it. People will be choosing other guilds, maybe. It can come up to this, people not having fun with their own friends. And really, then we have to start another guild and stuff, yada yada, wasting time. From the beginning, give us a definite limit, announce it, and it should be large, 200, same as Guild Wars 1 at least. Don't restrict us there, because there is no reason, I can't see a design idea or a philosophy behind it. Even if you try to stop Zerg guilds, it's still not a good idea.
All right. Any more comments on guild features of the like? Send me a PM. If not, we're gonna move. Oh, go ahead, Fire.
PM because of I'm on my phone. It doesn't allow me to do it.
All right, Roger that.
But for the problem with this is that they're talking about influence, and they're trying to regulate influence because of the amount of people. And quite frankly, I'd rather them not regulate the amount of people that you can have in your guild, but regulate how much influence you can actually use in your guild at a time. Yes, you can accumulate a lot of influence up, but if they gave a cap to that, then you'd be able to regulate influence, but then not make the game completely ridiculous for guild leaders and members that want to be a part of a big guild because of World v. World. But now they can be together and they can have fun. You can have a nice big community, but then influence is still regulated, and you'd be set. It's kind of the same idea as World v. World when you have supply and money for siege weapons. If they just made that one little feature, it'd fix everything.
Absolutely. Sean, you'd like to talk about influence?
Yes, I've actually done quite a lot of sort of research into the influence system, and I don't think it is as important as some people think it is. The reason I say that is because it is just fluff. No one can tell how much influence you have from outside of your guild. You don't get any game outcome affecting benefits from influence. So you won't lose an SPVP match just because the guild you're in doesn't have a lot of influence. You won't lose a world versus world because of how much influence you have, and you won't be able to complete a dungeon any better or any quicker because of how much influence you have. So it's just fluff. So I think a lot of the worries around guild size and influence are probably will probably become sort of unfounded a bit as people work the system. The amount of influence gain is pretty quick. We found that one person can gain about 100 influence in about 4 to 6 hours of gameplay. So even the most expensive item of influence will only be 10 people playing for an evening. So in terms of limiting the amount of influence large guilds get versus small guilds, I'm not sure that's necessary, especially since activity is the main factor in influence gain, not how many people in the roster.
Yes, definitely well said. The thing with influence is, yes, the bigger guilds may gain influence quicker, but I believe they do have processes in place that if you are questing near your members and stuff like that, there's some sort of influence gain like that, but it really comes down to influence is a utility kind of thing. I mean, you can show me some of the upgrades and say this is really, really beneficial, but when it comes down to it, your guild of 10, 12 guys doesn't need a guild bank to go out. They don't need guild armor to go out and compete in World v World. They don't need all this. It's really, I don't know, it's just adding more meat with the potatoes, I guess, is what I'd say. It's giving you something to do, and yes, it's very cool, but it's going to make those smaller guilds feel like such a bigger accomplishment to get these things. I know we were stoked, the Subterfuge guys, when we got the guild armor up, and none of us could afford any of the thing in it. I mean, we got the guild armor and we all went to it. We're like, oh man, let's get it. Oh, gold a piece. Never mind, let's all run away. Because it was cool to get it, and then again, it's just like, oh, I mean, this doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm going to look awesome with my little emblem on my coat, but I don't believe there's anything game-breaking. Alright, we're going to move out of World v World here, guys, and if anybody has any speculations, stuff like that, wants to talk about the next beta weekend, when they think it might be, stuff like that, let me know. We're also going to open up the floor. Everybody in chat, I mean, keep your e-pins and what have you in check here, because we're going to start talking about, let's talk about guild alliances and focus on alliances and see why that matters, why we need this system, why an alliance is so beneficial. Send me some PMs. Or no PMs. Oh, here we go. Alright, Kill, I know you guys are part of the Titan Alliance, go ahead.
Alright, hey again. I think that having an alliance is very beneficial because of, you do have your separate guilds, your separate ways of going about things, but it's kind of like with World v World, it's basically server versus server. And with that, having an alliance, having such a large community on a one server that knows each other, you can kind of come in better unison to win. Those servers, big alliances, are going to be the top servers. Why I feel this is because if you've been playing with a large group, like in a while, if you did 25-man raids, you may not do as well, but at the start. But once you get to know everybody, once everybody starts to know how everyone plays, and there's certain ideals and there's certain things they do, you start to play better and better with those people. So I think making an alliance and basically being able to know your server the best you can, the people on your server, you then play together the best you can, and you can then dominate World v World against other servers who may not be as organized. Also, as well as we have, the Oceanic and European and North American time slots, where you have people coming in and out, going to sleep, going to work, coming here and there, you can have around-the-clock watch on the World v. World, and with that, you can also work together, see who does what, when, and where, and what guilds are in control of what. So if while one guild leader is talking to their guild in one vent, and their guild says, oh hey, our group over here isn't doing too well, they could then be in two vents, but on another vent, talk to the alliance, say, hey, my guild's having a problem here, send someone over, server then has communication, then you win.
Well said, well said. Siren, you'd like to talk?
Yeah, I agree that having an alliance is always a good thing, but there's also something to say about not being in an alliance and being that random element that is running around doing the grunt work, taking back some of the smaller aspects of a World v. World match, or who is, helping to do other things. You gotta, because being a large part of a group like that, there's a lot of more casual players who aren't going to be on all the time, or a group just isn't ready to join a Titan alliance or a huge monster alliance at this point in beta. We don't know when the game's going to launch. Members of Khajiit are going, we can join all this group, but we've had the experience of it crashing and burning absolutely horribly come launch, because you get too many leaders in there and all these other things that happen in the dynamic of having that large, multiple gilded group. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm not calling anybody out. All I know is that a working alliance works well. An alliance that is looking like it works may not work as well once you have a game launch, because people's interests change over time. This game is a phenomenal combination of things that we've been looking for. But I think to form your alliance in beta and translate that into actual live game, you gotta be a little cautious.
That's a great point, Siren. I mean, we all haven't played the game for that long together, and that's one way of it. But there also is, like Chad is saying, that like-minded individuals may do well together. But you do bring up one dynamic of it possibly crashing and burning when the game comes out, and I've seen it in the past, yes. But if I know there's plenty of great guilds out there looking for alliances, and if you kind of wade the waters with them and just see if they have the same kind of aspects that you guys are looking for, you never know what you might find. All right, Amon, go ahead.
Yeah, alliances are beneficial, obviously, and lots of guilds are doing it already. It's happening. There is no reason whatsoever for an internet to not supplement it, if not by release time, the very first major patch. But the thing is, whatever system they implement or whatever ideas they have for the alliance system, it should never punish small or big guilds that refuses to be in an alliance. Our guild currently is no alliance. We refused, like, I think around 20 of them, 20 invites for alliances, just because it can all crash down when the game is released, and for many other factors, which is basically not enough information about the guild function in Guild Wars 2. We still don't know the definite numbers of guilds. We still don't know how the influence system going to be finalized, and people representing other guilds, and all of that factors. So my comment is basically, whatever system there is going to be there, it should not punish either small guilds or big guilds that refuses to be in an alliance and have their own sort of community, I guess.
Yeah, well said, well said. Sean, you'd like to talk?
Yes, I just thought I'd ask the question and put it out there. What in-game mechanisms would people like to see to help their alliance function? Is it on chat systems? Is it formal alliances? What suggestions and tools we can give the internet to help us manage alliances in-game?
Yeah, it's a great idea. If any, everybody in the chat here for the channel, if you'd like to add what you'd like to see, if you'd like to see chat systems, if you'd like to be able to see their roster even, something like that, just add it in chat here. I know they'll see this list and think what we think we need to see, so be sure to just take a second and put what you would like to see. Alright, and we are starting to wind down here, guys. We've got about 8 minutes left. I'm gonna hand it over to before we plug our fan sites and all the like. I'm gonna hand it over to Chris B here. He does have a giveaway here, I believe, of an engine premium and some other stuff. If you'd like to take it.
Yeah, guys. First off, thank you all for showing up today. As a thank you, we want to offer something to all of our guild leaders who, if you do not have a website already, if you want to send me an email at chris@fragworld.org, we are offering a 1-month advanced package for Engine to everybody who does not have a website yet. And out of everybody who sends me an email, we're going to randomly select one guild to receive a advanced package for a full year. So if anybody does not have a website and they want one off the Engine plan, that's ENJIN, then send me an email at chris@fragworld.org, and good luck.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. So now we are winding down, guys. I want to say thanks for the huge turnout again. Awesome, really cool to hear from everybody. We do have one more point we're going to get into here, and this is our roundtable with plugs and plugging events, communities, your Twitter, your Twitch, just so we can get the whole community together and working together and just following each other on Twitch, following each other's YouTube, stuff like that. So any community guys in here, if they'd like to PM me if they have a piece. Otherwise, I will open up the chat now to links. Please keep it to the having to do with Guild Wars, your guild site, your YouTubes, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, chat's open for those now. All right, and I'm going to open it up for Buzz here from Fist of the Empire. He'd like to talk about something.
Yeah, I'm with Fist of the Empire. There's 3 links I'd actually like to share. The first one would be our website. That's where you can find basic information. It's www.fistoftheempire.com. That's also, if anybody's not guilded, you can apply. Second link I want to throw up is our recruitment video. I'm biased. I think that out of all the recruitment videos out there, ours is one of the most unique. It's also probably one of the most creative. Then the third thing I'd like to share with us, our members have been developing and creating an interactive worldview world map. It has all the points of capture, all the gate locations, also has to where you can drop in the different siege engines, ballista, arrow carts, etc., with the little ranges, so you can zoom in and get an idea. If you set up, say for example, a trebuchet battery on one location, would you be able to hit more than one enemy keep with the assault? So I'll get those links. Do you want me to put the links in chat or send them to you?
You can send them to me, but also please put them in chat. He's going to be posting their Worldview World map here. It's pretty cool, guys. Check it out. Give him some comments in chat if you'd like. I'm going to call out Crackbone, because I know you got something to say down there.
If I could say one more thing on that.
Yep.
It's also on Reddit. So if you guys are on Reddit, just do a search for Fist of the Empire, Worldview World map. Any upvotes would be really appreciated.
All right, before Crack says his piece, if he's got anything, Temper, go ahead.
All right, just gonna do a nice little plug for Rage Coalition. We've been doing a lot of work on rebuilding our guild for Guild Wars 2, and I'd like to go ahead and share our brand new website, for instance. Let me get that link here. There's our link for our main webpage, which we just got done rebuilding and reorganizing. We're still building our forums, however, but we're mainly looking for smaller guilds that are interested in playing for more hardcore, friendly kind of things that enjoy using TeamSpeak, for instance. We're just looking to coordinate with those to see if we can find a good home server. And if anybody's listening in that likes to have a nice, mature time playing with people who are of an adult level, we also have a recruitment video I can link.
All right, sounds good, Temper. Yeah, go ahead and link away. Thanks for your plug. So anybody who needs to plug here, go ahead. Amon would like to plug their guild site and stuff. If it's already been in chat, though, guys, please don't spam it. We'll just put them in there once.
Can I talk? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just a reintroduction for our guild. We are Oceanic Australian Guild, www.duguild.com. We are a friendly community. We are hardcore and at the same time casual. We play all kind of games, World vs. World, PvE, and PvP. And I probably shouldn't say that, but I think we have hands down the very best website for a guild. You can check it out, duguild.com.
All right,
Still
very cool.
recruitment. Slots, and then we're gonna close down.
Alright. Let me look through here. Sigs, I didn't see you sneak into channel at all. Strategy, go ahead if you'd like to plug.
Hey guys, you can find us at infamygaming.net. I'm not really going to try to promote us here. I really would like to promote the esports world, and I'm really hoping this takes off. That's our primary focus. If you guys want to ever stop by the site and just, like, you know, josh with us, or, you know, just post and put your links on there as well in our general chats, that'd be cool. But really, like, one of our big driving purposes here outside of building our servers community is to also push the esports scene, try to push for spectator mode and stuff like that. So anytime you guys want to talk, maybe organize scrimmages or whatever, just stop by. We're a group of friendly guys, but we're also really competitive, and we're hoping to find other competitive players out there.
Awesome. Alright, I'd like to do a quick thanks. I don't know if anybody saw him sneak in, but Aiden from ArenaNet. Thanks a lot, Aiden, for listening in. I'd love to have your job someday. That's awesome. Just listening to a bunch of guys talk around. Really glad that we could see ArenaNet here. Anybody else got any plugs? Let me know. Yeah, and so we're going to be winding down here. I'd like to talk about, we are going to be having the guild speed dating event through Frag World soon here. Be sure to check Twitter Guru for some updated dates. I'm not sure if we have them yet, Chris, do we? But we will be holding like a guild speed dating event where we'll set up channels for everybody to come in. This is my little plug for us. We'll set up channels for guilds, and any possible recruits we'll throw down into your channels based on like-minded individuals, stuff like that. You say you're 18 plus, we'll only throw 18 plus guys down there to say what's up, give them a quick interview if that's how you guys do your interviews, and hopefully get everybody bolstered up a little bit. Crackbone, go ahead. Or leave yourself muted if you'd like.
How about that? Most everybody here knows who I am, who the site is. Obviously, as I said earlier, we're a World vs. World community site. And our primary focus is to support the guilds that are out there and the communities that are out there. We're a community site, community driven. So come on by, check us out, talk to us about guild spotlights, list in the directory. We'd love to support everybody.
Alright, thanks, Crack. Alright, with that, guys, I'd like to say thanks everybody again for coming out. Meeting's basically adjourned here. If anybody wants to stay around and chat with some like-minded individuals, chat with some other guild leaders about, you know, just talk shop, that kind of thing, we'll open up chat here. You guys don't have to mute anymore. And thanks again for coming, guys.
No, thank you, Beetle, for
Thanks for
letting
having
us
Appreciate
come
it.
in here.
And remember, if anybody wants that website, to send an email to chris@fragworld.org, and we will give you a hookup.
And before we adjourn here, Rage Coalition is going to have a few people coming in to our TeamSpeak server to kind of talk about smaller guilds and seeing if we're looking for people, basically like-minded kind of individuals. And if you're kind of shopping out there for some smaller guilds who are mature and work a lot like you, give us a tell, you know, either me or Coffee, and ask us a few questions. And if not, you know, if you're interested, we can just give you the info and continue there.
Alright, well said. Had a blast, guys. I'll stick around if anybody wants to keep talking.